Hey everybody, this is Brett, and today I want to talk about oils and fats and give you my take on this entire scenario because there's so much misinformation from people out there. And even people like Udo, I don't necessarily believe what he says about like flax oil because that's what he's trying to sell. And I'll tell you how I consume flax oil in a minute. Many of you already know, but I was just watching this video from the Oprah Winfrey Network, and it's got Dr. Oz on there, and they're just feeding people a bunch of crap, and I'm going to dispel all that information right here in a comment that I just wrote. FYI, this was not a very good video. It's watered down and sugar-coated for the mainstream public to swallow. The main thing to look for in oils is that they are unrefined. And it should say that right on the bottle. And the best oils in this regard are coconut, which is very healthy, even though it's 90% saturated fat. And Dr. Oz talks about saturated fat as being bad. And it's not necessarily bad. It depends on where it's coming from. And sesame and olive. And there are a few other oils that are also unrefined, like peanut. And if you know of another one, write it down below. Canola oil is not unrefined, and also is not a healthy and natural oil to consume from other respects. And I've put a really good article about canola oil, rapeseed oil, and how it's been hybridized so much. And it used to be just like used for industrial purposes, like in locomotive engines. And so check out that in the description box, the article on canola oil. And when you see all that freaking cheap, that's why they use it. It's dirt cheap canola oil. That's why they put it in all the foods on the hot bar and stuff at Whole Foods. Stay away from that crap. And as for flax, it's best to consume flax in a whole form, like in flax crackers. Now check it out. I'm just about to make flax crackers. I soaked this yesterday and I put it in the fridge last night, and I'm just about to lay all of that soaked flax crackers or flax seeds, along with pumpkin seeds and sesame seeds and spices out on trays and dehydrate them into crackers. And see, that way I get all the constituents still left in the flax. All the lignans and all of that fiber that's so good for my digestive system. And then when I eat it with the sauerkraut, it promotes more acidophilus because flax is a prebiotic. And it's really healthy if you consume it in its whole form. But people like Udo, they're going to tell you to consume flax oil, which is just the oil from all of that. What did they do with all the rest of it? They threw it out. It went out to the landfill. That's why I don't think it's good to consume flax oil alone. There are people out there that say to not consume any oils at all. And this is a purist mindset, and it reminds me a lot of when I decided to go completely salt-free. And that did not last very long. It's like some people will decide to go completely without sex. But, there are certain foods that are totally like made for extracting oils out of them. As an example, the olive seed has oils in it, and you're just going to throw the olive seed out to the landfill, once again, if you don't just crush it. And so it's a perfect medium for getting the oil out of there, and the oil lasts for a long time, and you don't have to worry about it ever spoiling. Whereas the flax oil, if it's cold pressed, it has to be refrigerated because it won't last very long. This is a red flag against flax oil being natural and logical and like a food that's best for extracting the oil out of to consume. It's not. And let's see, coconut oil will last for a long time on the shelf. Totally natural. Oh, one other thing about flax oil, it's really expensive. And that's just another red flag against it, whereas the flax seed by itself is totally cheap. So sesame oil also will sit on the shelf for a long time without going bad. And so using small amounts of these oils is just totally fine in my book, and it adds to the flavor of the food. Especially sesame oil is really good, and it prevents foods from sticking to your pans. Additionally, just because various meats contain some saturated fat doesn't mean they're not healthy. Now check this out. You know what that is? That's pure range-free beef liver. You know how healthy this is? You know how much B vitamins and good quality iron are in this? They didn't take that to the feedlot and feed it a bunch of grain and antibiotics and growth hormones. That cow lived a better life than 90% of the humans on this earth. So for those of you that are vegan and you're like against animal cruelty, I know the people that grew that cow. And that cow, like I said, it lived a healthier life than most of the people on this earth. And so, human beings have been eating meat for their entire evolution. Think about it. There's no way that any of my ancestors ever did not eat some meat. And I'm not saying that we're not evolving towards veganism, because we are. But if you need the concentrated nutrients in meat, that is an incredible source of it. And the little tiny bit of saturated fat in that, that's nothing. There's nothing in that compared to a lot of other foods. And so, additionally, animals are fed genetically modified grains. And most politicians, they're all good with GMO and Monsanto. Well, they're going to find out otherwise, that those foods are not good for the genetics of our own bodies and the animals that they're being fed to. And so I stay totally away from non-organic meats. And OWN is catering to the mainstream public that is really not always ready for the truth about living and or eating healthily. The book Healing with Whole Foods by Paul Pitchford is a great book for people to learn the truth about how to eat healthy. And I hope you enjoyed this video and learned some things. Give me a thumbs up. And like I said, check out the description box for some links. I put a link to healthy lignans in the flax on there too. And also, go to that video. I'll put a link to it right there. Go to that video and give me a thumbs up on this comment. And that will raise its strength and popularity so that people can read my comment and learn, the mainstream public that's watching this stupid video on the OWN network. So I want to thank you for joining me. Be well.